Hello and welcome back. Thank you for joining us. I got some dollies and went through a fight. I accidentally knocked my wall clock off the wall right before I started trying to make this. But back up, battery's back in it. Find out in 10 to 15 minutes if it's still working or not, I guess. Yeah, so we're gonna open some dolls and I'm going to tell you about the great thing that cost me $500. We're going to start with Clawdeen Wolf. These are all Monster High dolls. If you couldn't guess from what I may have or may not have made the title, I have no idea. I haven't thought that far ahead in my life. These are the Monster Fest ones. I'm not sure. I mentioned it when I opened the. You can't see them. These three, I don't know much about Monster High, but these ones I did like, and I like having pretty dolls, so we're gonna open her. Yeah. So in 2016. So we're going way back in time. My family. Oh, here's the back of the box. Did I show you that? Sorry if I didn't. My family owns a farm, and on that farm, the owners, the partners of the partnership, will sometimes get a new vehicle to help offset income if we have an excessive amount of income. And in 2016, it was my grandpa's turn to get a new pickup. And I was like, this little beater car that I've been driving for my high school career is, let's just say the whole dash didn't work. The speedometer quit working. Sometimes if I pounded on the dash, that would bring it back to life for a little bit, but not forever. I had to pretty much use the what's called a tachometer that counts how many miles you've driven since the last time I put fuel in, because I didn't have a fuel gauge. And I was like, I think it's just might be time for me to upgrade. And so it's like, instead of trading your pickup in for a new one, would you be willing to sell me your current pickup, which at the time was a 2008? This is happening in 2016. And he's like, maybe. And then he ended up doing it. Okay. I still drive that vehicle. When I got it in 2016, it had a total of 113,000 miles on it, because my grandpa, like so many farmers, I don't understand it, they buy a brand new vehicle and then they buy a little beater secondary vehicle so to drive that instead of putting miles on their nice pickup. I don't know, but that's what he did. And so a 2008 with only 100,000 miles on it, practically brand new. So like I said, I still drive that. My grandpa unfortunately passed away in 2020. And I know that at some point in time I'm going to have to get rid of this vehicle. But today's not that day. I thought it was going to be today. I noticed last week it was starting to have a really tough time. It was sputtering. The engine was not running clean. It was definitely misfiring. And I was like, oh no, that could be big engine problems. And being a 2008, year of 2025 now, that makes it it's 17 years old, but technically probably closer to 18 since they make the vehicles a year before and throw them out on lots. So I was like, yeah, plus it's got 230,000 miles on it because I've taken it a lot of places. So it's got a lot of miles on it. And I was like, uh-oh, this might not be good. And then also last week, it just straight up couldn't get to 60. It was really sputtering and having a tough time getting to 60. And so I parked it and I stole my stepmom's vehicle because they were out of town. And I drove that to work and all day that day. I let it sit over the weekend. And then I did the classic, Dad, will you jump in it and just tell me what you think? And believe it or not, all of a sudden, it worked just fine. Go figure. Second you try to show someone, it's magically fixed. But it wasn't. Like, I could still feel, being the person that, like, drives it every single day, it was not entirely back to normal. Like, I could feel there was a lag in it when I put my foot on the gas. Like, it just wasn't taking off right. Anyway, so I took it to the dealership, and I was like, this is what's happening, blah, 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 blah. And so they looked it over, and they're like, oh, yeah, here's what happened. And I'm going to grab a visual. Okay, this is not a good visual. It's not an accurate visual, but this is what we're going to use. I don't know how much anyone knows about engines. I know a little bit. Not a lot, but enough. So my pickup is a V8, which means that it has 8 cylinders, and they're set up like this. V, and there's 8 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not in that order, just to complicate things. I don't know the order. But anyway, let's say this is a single individual cylinder in my engine. Okay? It sits like this. This is the piston that is in your engine, my engine, we all have them. It goes in here like this. When it's down, there's a valve somewhere that is allowing the fuel to fill the cylinder, and the piston pulls down, opening that valve with a suction, kind of, and sucking the fuel in, from my understanding. That might not be entirely accurate, but general gist, pulls down, sucks fuel in, right? Okay, now that it's down and it's filling up, it's time for it to go back up, and it compresses the fuel in the top of the cylinder, right? This little inkwell is going to be our spark plug. That sits on the top of the cylinder, and when the cylinder's at the top of its cycle, all the way in, or when the piston is at the top of the cylinder, at the top of its cycle, this spark plug, you think like sparking rocks for like making a fire, that's kind of what this little thing does. And it looks nothing like this. But it goes spark, and it goes kaboom, and it shoves the piston down really hard. And as it's making that motion, each individual cylinder, the cup, because like I said, I have 8 of them, they all are doing this at completely different times, causing the center shaft that they're all attached to with a rod down here, and that makes the engine go like this, and each cylinder / piston in those positions all go up and down at different times, because this is going round and round. So as it comes around, try and do it with one hand, as it comes around, it pushes this piston up, fuel gets compressed, spark plug goes here, it goes spark, and it boom, it pushes the piston back down, which causes it'd be called crankshaft, your crankshaft to rotate in a circle, causing a piston over here to go up, because now this one's down. Round and round and round, okay? That's basically how your engine like runs, because the piston goes up and down, compressing the fuel, spark plug goes boom at the top, shoves piston back down, that's what gives you your power. Okay? The spark plug in my pickup, in one of my 8 cylinders, burnt out. It like cracked down the side. It wrecked the wiring that's up here, which gives it its electrical current to produce the spark that pushes the piston down. This doesn't actually, like, in your engine, it doesn't come out. It's always like staying in the cylinder at some point, but I keep pulling it out, sorry. But yeah, so that's all that happened, was it burnt out a spark plug, which caused it to misfire, because now this cylinder can't do anything, and loss of power. And to fix it, because I had to put new electrical stuff on a couple different spots, because this one spark plug burnt out, it only cost me $500 instead of having to buy a new vehicle. I was very excited, and I didn't realize how wound up I was about this until I got the phone call to say like that's all it was. Because after that, I was like just yapping all day. I was in such a good mood to find out that that's all it was. But hopefully I taught you something. Actually, maybe I didn't. That was a very probably chaotic example. But yeah, that's kind of how your engine works. And everybody has the same general setup. It's just how, if, like I said, mine's a V8, so they're placed in a V shape, and there's 8 of them, 4 on each side. If you have a V6, it'd just be 3 on each side, still in a V shape, but I know some of them are like straight and it's like different shapes. But that's basically how it works. And when the piston goes down, spins that crankshaft around, and the crankshaft that goes round and round this way, then at some point goes out and attaches to like your tires, your axles for your tires, and then that's what makes your vehicle propel forward, is because that crankshaft, which is getting the power from the piston going up and down and the fuel blowing up at each individual cylinder, that's how your engine's getting its power. Ask me what oil's for, because I don't know. I don't get it. I thought oil was to cool your engine, but then you put coolant in it, so it's not. I don't get it. I assume that because like the piston going up and down in the cylinder causes like friction because it's metal on metal, so maybe the oil goes in there and helps to like lubricate that. I don't know. There's your mechanic lesson today. Power Engines 101, real quick. But I was so excited about that because that means that yes, I did have to spend like $500 repairing my vehicle, which is a lot of money that I didn't really have, but it is at least better than like a monthly car payment because I bought it from my grandpa. He gave me a dollar amount and he basically like let me slowly pay it off with my like high school job rather than having to go to an actual car dealership and like get a loan and do all that, which means I'm very rookie in that department, which is kind of a downfall, but also I have a vehicle that has been dependable so far, and I don't have to pay monthly on it. So I don't know. But I will say, I had a tough time the day he came up to me and was like, okay, you have to go buy your tabs now. And I'm like, what? A tab? What's that? Like my dad always kind of took care of that for all of us with our like high school cars. I was fortunate enough to be provided a high school car. Very, very fortunate enough. And very grateful I was. It was not a nice car, but it got to town and back, and it taught me a lot about just don't listen to the weird noises. They're fine. Turn the radio up. And realistically, one time my dad put power steering fluid in instead of brake fluid in for me because like my brake light went on when I went to town to go to school. And I don't live in that big of a town, so this isn't like, it might sound crazy like if you live in a really big town, but I don't. I live in a town with a population of like 3,000 people. So yeah, I like texted him and I was like, hey, the brake light came on, can you stop at some point in time if you come to town and just put some brake fluid in my car? And he's like, yep, I'll do that for you. And I was like, nice, neat, awesome. And he came to town and he put power steering fluid in the brake fluid, which brakes are super confusing. I get the gist of it, way too much to explain. But um, I can try, but I don't have any sort of props to do that with right now. Um, Basically, power steering versus brake fluid. The power steering isn't meant to get, it either runs too hot or isn't meant to get as hot as brake fluid does, so it like burned the whole brake system out. And I found out on my way home from work in the dark, and he like was like, "Nah, you still have brakes." I'm like, "Dad, I don't have brakes," because he doesn't, of course, believe you when anything breaks. For whatever reason, he doesn't. But yeah, that's how I learned to drive with no brakes. on a whim. But here's her bag. Got that out. Got a little moon and a wolf on it. Yeah, I think it's a really cute little bag. And on the back side, it looks like that. She has, it looks to me like nachos, kind of. Let's see if I can get it to, because I think they're like chips salsa. Got sunglasses with little moons on them. That's unfortunate. The sticker's already peeling off. But we have like a drink. Not really sure what kind of drink. You can be the judge. To what I assume are bracelets. I'll try and show them to you. There's really not much to them. Purple one. Hopefully that's somewhat focused. And then she's got a camera, maybe. Like an eyeball for the lens, and then it kind of looks like maybe you could put film in the back, or it's just a second bag. But it doesn't open, like this bag does open. And then the Monster Fest ticket. And I think it's upside down. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And then it's got, I'm not really sure what this is meant for, but it looks like, because I have Clawdeen, so it looks like it's got, I don't know other names. No, this must be the band that's playing. Duh, it's a poster. Whoops. Okay, and then the dog. What we all really care about, right? Here's her face. And I liked her head piece that she wears. This piece is pinned into her ears. Like, she doesn't have earrings, so it's through her ears as if it was an earring. This piece is a second piece, and it goes behind her ears. And it's got like little flowers on it. I think it's really cute. Purple hair that is soft, but you can tell it's plastic. I don't know what type of hair that is. If you do, I'm proud of you. She's got fuzzy sleeves with mesh fabric, a coat on a coat top that looks to be a separate piece from the bottom. Yeah. There's the skirt. I think it's just a very generic top. I honestly haven't really looked that close to it. Gold, yeah, it's a little purple tank top with just gold ribbon sleeves. And she has these little leg fuzzies that I think I'm gonna end up taking off because I don't know if they're supposed to be like the top of her boots, kind of. But I might end up removing them just because I think it's excessive. But I mean, they're cute. They're soft. They are soft. Her little belt, if I can get it to focus, and then her necklace. That's all the jewelry she comes wearing. And then her shoes. Purple, open toe, tall, strappy, wedge. Ta-da! So I don't have doll stands, just so you're aware. I'm trying to fix the rubber band around this. See if I can make it lay like not protruding from her waist. I might just have to take that rubber band off to make the belt lay flat because it kind of looks ridiculous the way it's laying. See if I can get it off. So I'm just gonna break. Okay. That doesn't really fix it. Let's try and put it kind of on her hip. I would assume if I put a little bit of heat to that, it would lay a little flatter, but it does look better than just sticking straight out. I think. So I haven't looked at these dolls too much. I mean, I have. Like, I bought them, but something that is crazy to me that I've been finding out is at Walmart, a pickup order constitutes as an online order, which gives you the discounted price. So I didn't really get to pick them out in store, which is kind of disappointing, but they costed significantly less than if I would have walked in the store and picked them out myself. So who doesn't love a bargain? I'm not really sure the best way to have her hold all of these things at one time. Like, it's kind of just one too many accessories. So her ticket is in her bag. Get her foot on backwards. Whoopsies. Cup does not fit over all her fingers without making it. Which, okay, fine, whatever. That's such is life. So then maybe we just put the camera. Can I get the camera around her wrist? Oh, we can. Wasn't really sure if that was going to happen. And then we'll put her nachos in her hand. Maybe. We're getting there. Don't know what we're going to do with these other than put them on. Which kind of don't fit right because of the way her... I don't understand these. With her ears are on the top of her head. Because she's a wolf. Just, that kind of just registered in my brain. That doesn't make sense. Here she is. Don't actually know the tune to that. So, that is Clawdeen. Pretty, pretty, pretty girl. I really like her headpiece. That's kind of what drew me to this one specifically. But yeah, hopefully, now that I know I don't have to spend $1 million on a vehicle, I can order some doll stands. I was waiting so patiently. Maybe she'll stand. Oh, she does kind of stand on her own. I was waiting. I literally haven't gone grocery shopping since my vehicle started acting up. So I was like, oh, we don't know how much we're going to be spending here, and I do need a vehicle to drive, so it does have to get fixed to some degree. Good catch, right? Okay. Next dolly is Lagoona Blue. Quick, I'll close the back. That wasn't, this is the back. This is her in the box. Yeah. So that little thing with the eyeball definitely is a camera. I read the back and it, believe it or not, has answers. Frankie, Clawdeen, Cleo, and Lagoona have scored tickets to Monster Fest, the most electrifying music festival of the year. They each shine in uniquely fabulous and these are play on words. Fabulous and gorgeously glam lurks. Ooh. It's like 1, 2, 3 all in one sentence. Decked out with freaky chic handbags and posters of their fave bands, the ghouls can't wait to snack on slime, nachos. We did have nachos, and it is a poster. Snack on slime, nachos, snap scary, cool photos, and dance the fright away. Exciting, exciting, exciting. I will say Lagoona kind of might be my favorite. I don't know. I like her color palette, but I also have always loved Cleo because I have always been a big Egyptian fan. I went through a craze of Egyptian archaeology when I was in middle school. It was that and watching a VHS of the discovery of the Titanic. I watched that over and over again. We literally watched the whole VHS tape, get up, because we didn't have a remote for our VHS player, hit the rewind button, and it took a little bit before I learned if you pause, then you could rewind way faster. But yeah, I rewound it and watched it over and over again. But we're going to circle back to my pickup because I think it's a funny story because I'm blonde and I just feel like you don't realize, like I mentioned, did I say that my grandpa made me buy my tabs for the first time? Yeah, I did. Because then, like I said, like my dad usually bought our tabs for us when we were in high school. Like I said, we were lucky enough to have parents that took care of some of that stuff for us. I'm not saying you're unlucky if you don't have a parent that takes care of stuff like that. I'm just saying our parents felt that they were going to take care of that for us and were financially capable of doing so. I find myself to be fortunate in that way. I am not ragging on anyone that didn't have that or feels differently about that. That is just strictly my opinion. I don't want to start a controversy. Anyway, so my grandpa comes in and he's like, "You have to go buy your tabs." And I'm like, "I don't know what a tab is." I do know what a tab is now. Okay. And he explained to me how to do it. I went in, I did it, and I put them in my glove compartment, the thing that folds down out of your dash. I shoved the paper in there. I didn't shove it. I put it in there nicely. And that first year I bought tabs, okay? My tabs in my state, I don't know how this does not work the same for every state. I live right alongside a border and it does not work the same in the other state. But our tabs, you have to buy, I'm assuming, generically at the beginning of the year. So given that it's the beginning of the year again, now that I'm thinking about it, I need to go buy my tabs. So I got my tabs, I put them in my glove compartment. Now, it did not happen this year, last year. This happened like 2018, but we're just going to use these years, this year and last year and next year's years, just to make it easy on me for storytelling while I'm trying to do something with my hands. I bought my tabs, I put them in the glove compartment. Did you get that part of the story yet? I've said it 4 times. Oof. Put them in there, and a whole year went by. Okay, it is now. I bought them in January of 2024. That's what. No, yeah, I bought them in January of 24. We're gonna say that, and it is now December of 2024. Okay, I get into a car accident, and believe it or not, it wasn't my fault at all because their insurance company took 100% of the liability, and it was legit their fault. I don't know if they were trying to make a left-hand turn into a right lane, or if, because it's a 2-lane road, or if they took their right-hand turn and then decided to merge and just merged on top of me. Either way, I was basically stopped on the shoulder of the road because I saw them coming, and I just like hit the brakes and pulled way over, and that was about all I could do. My damage was pretty minimal, and they took out the entire wheel well on their car. So, anyway, that happened, and the police officer comes, and he's like, license and registration. So I gave him my stuff, and he's like, "Girl, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know. This is not how he actually talked to me, but whatever." And he's like, "Your tabs are expired." And I was like, okay, well, I have my new ones right here." So I gave him the ones in my glove compartment that said 2025 on them, right? Because that's how our tabs work. You buy them at the beginning of the year, and they say the future year on them. So I thought to myself in my rookie brain that I needed to wait until the beginning of 2025, and it was still December 2024. So why would I have put them on yet? And I said that to the police officer. I'm like, "They say 2025 on them. What do you mean? These are my new ones." And he's like, "Girl, nah." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what it says." And he's like, "This set of tabs that you just took out of your glove compartment are actually expired in 1 month. In January of 2025, your 2026 tabs expire. This is saying you bought them in January of 2025 and you are covered until January of 2026. And I was like, nah. And he's like, uh-huh. And I was like, great. He's like, I should really write you a really big ticket right now, but I fully believe that you're telling me the truth. You didn't know that. And I was like, well, I am telling you the truth. I didn't know that. I thought, because they say 2025 on them, that means I put them on in 2025. What? I mean, it doesn't make any sense that I bought them in January of 2024 and I put them in my glove compartment for an entire year. How I never got pulled over throughout that whole year and someone corrected me on that earlier, I don't know. But yeah, that's how I learned how tabs work in my state, by getting in a car accident and being told that my tabs are really almost expired. So I got home, and when I put my vehicle in, like I said, we own a farm, so we have a big like shop for fixing machinery, and I drove it in there to like fully scope out the damage because it was completely drivable. I pretty much just had like my mirrors have a chrome cap on them. These are not going to stay on very well. Oh, maybe I just was touching it too much. Anyway, they have like a chrome cap on the back side of the mirror. So that she took a chunk out of that, and then literally like just a dent. Like it could have been my headlight or it could have been my door hinge, and it wasn't. It was perfectly in between. So I was like, nice, nice. Don't really have to fix anything there. Just a dent, which isn't ideal, but it's just a dent. But then there was like a scrape, which you could see where she like merged way too early and then just kept driving into me. Cause like this is such a bad visual. That's not gonna help either. Anyway, from like the mirror on my passenger side all the way back, and like I have a pickup, so I got a big box on the back end, all the way back to my through my passenger rear door. It like the whole cab of my pickup had one big like scrape, like that thick, all the way down. So she literally like ran into me. It ran into the back end of my cab, like back over in that corner, drove alongside me until she really bumped me in the front. Like I said, I was stopped by that point. So basically, they just had to like, and it was just like I could sit and buff it out with my finger. So minimal damage to this thing. It was ridiculous. But her insurance company did take 100% fault and paid for everything completely. So that was nice because I was like, see, this wasn't my fault. Because it really wasn't. I was in the left-hand lane, driving straight through the intersection just like you could. She was taking a right-hand turn in a 2-lane road, so I'm going this way. She should turn into this lane and drive straight until the lanes merge, which then I'm in the right-of-way lane, not her. So I don't know. The first thing she says to me when she gets out is like, "Didn't you see my blinker on?" And I was like, yeah, so you could turn right. And then I just kind of like walked away from her. It was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I don't know, like, sound off in the comments. Never said that before. Ooh, totally a YouTube channel person now. Because I said that. Sound off in the comments about like crazy getting pulled over stories. I'd love to hear them. My 2 subscribers, as of today, I had 2. Let me know, because the only other time I've really truly gotten pulled over, I had 2 other times, was in my high school car. Like I said, it didn't have a speedometer, so I taught myself pretty good that if like on a highway, if I look out my window and count like 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, up to 10 or so between telephone poles, that meant that I was going roughly 60. And ultimately, if I'm not flying past traffic, I'm doing good. If I'm going and passing everybody, I'm probably not doing so good. So I got pulled over in that car, speeding once, but it was around Christmas time, and the cop just gave me a candy cane and was like, "I just need to slow down a little bit. You're not speeding that bad." Because he was like, "How fast were you going?" And I legitimately could say, "I have no idea." But I didn't. No idea. I didn't tell about my lack of dash working. I didn't know. At the time, I didn't know if that was like illegal. I still don't know. I assume not. What are they going to do? It doesn't work. As long as I'm not speeding, it's not really causing any problems. But anyway, and then the second time was I live where we get a lot of snow, and it was one night like super duper slushy out. I mean, there had to have been like that much slush all across the road. And I was going home back to town on a Saturday night, and I'm sure they thought that I was drinking somewhere because it was a Saturday night out in the middle of the country where a bunch of farmers live. And yeah, so he was driving at me, I was driving that way, and apparently he like pulled me over and was like, "Do you know what I'm pulling you over for?" And I was like, "No, I wasn't speeding because it was so slushy. I was going like 40 miles an hour." And I was like, "I had my seatbelt on." I literally was just like, as he was passing me, like we were meeting, I was like trying my very best to just stay in my lane because it was like that slushy that you were literally just like souping around on the road. And he's like, "You didn't shut your brights off." And I was like, "Okay, yeah." And I was like, "Sorry," because I was sorry. Like I would have shut my brights off. It's like I was kind of just white knuckled onto the steering wheel trying to, like stay in my lane. And I was just like, I mean, I get it. That's not okay to do because it's hard to see when someone drives at you with your brights. Trust me, I know. I used to drive a short little car. I know it's not nice. And but I was like, you still like and it was snowing out. It was a horrible driving condition day. And I'm like, you whipped a Yui when visibility is to like a quarter of a mile in the slush, sped up to catch up to me just to tell me I forgot to turn my brights off. Okay. And he didn't give me a ticket or anything, but you need to be more careful. And I was like, you're right, I do. Like that, I need to definitely pay attention to that. Like, I'm not saying that was okay for me to do. I'm just saying it blew my mind just like a little bit that it was that crappy out. I don't think I passed anyone else on the way down that night. But anyway, back to our dolls. This is Lagoona. Here's her headpiece. It'll let you see her appropriately. There it went. Here's her headpiece. It goes down to, see if I can do it on this side a little bit better. It does go down behind her ears. And it is T-tied in. You can probably see it better on this side. Maybe. It is T-tied in there. And it does go down behind her ear. And then out on her forehead. It does drive me a little bonkers that this is not centered. And I don't know if that's just mine or if I can forcibly center it. Oh, that moved something. Something moved. It's not centered yet. Maybe it's a little better. I'm not really sure. I think it's trying to grab that piece. There we go. That's going to be a problem. See if that helps. It's definitely being, yeah, see, it grabbed her right away that time. Anyway, sorry. Here, necklace, she does have earrings. And they are the same, I think. They look like there's a feather, possibly a fish hook, and then what could be considered like just bubbly chain wrapped around chain. But I think this is supposed to be like, I'm guessing it's supposed to look like a fishing lure to somewhat. Like I know I've seen fishing lures, like they have feathers on them and then the little fish hook. Anyway, there's her necklace, and that looks like a jellyfish. And so that is. And the belt, which I haven't looked that close at. I think it's, yeah, just kind of flowers. Kind of a fish netty looking, like scales. And then her skirt is that fabric. Microphone's up here. And it is like a jellyfish. And then there's a lot of moving pieces when it comes to her feet. Her legs are like a little bit see-through. So you can see the braces that hold her fin in here. And this piece is easily movable. I like the setup, but it is easily movable. Just they do kind of fall off. I'm gonna have to fix her socks because this one's over her sock and this one's not. But I'll have to fix that some other time. So then here's her shoes, and like I said, it did fall off easier than I was prepared for it to. Can you see it in there? Sorry, I suddenly kind of getting my hiccups. This little fish skeleton in her heel. And oh my gosh, you can touch it. I just touched it. This side, it looks like a bowl. There's a piece of plastic in there. It looks like it's in a fish bowl. This side, it's not that way. And then she has little netted socks on. And it just kind of poop on her heel. So, overall, that's her. Then we have her big purse again. What did they call it? Their funky. What's that tray? Freaky chic handbags. Oh, I get it because it's like. I don't get it. I don't know. I thought it was an eyeball, but it's not. It's a fish in a fish bowl. With a little jellyfish on the bottom. So she has a hamburger with tentacles coming out of it. Why this won't focus today? I don't know if it is the dolls in the background or what the deal is. Sunglasses, and they're little like they're very tightly, like bent together. And then here's her. It is a camera. It's got the film in the back. A seashell, clamshell. Actually, it goes this way. Might be. And her ticket is green, but it looks exactly the same as Clawdeen's. And she has, what I'm realizing, this is an admin bracelet, like wristband. And then this one is an actual bracelet. So it's kind of got like a little tag hanging off of it. It would focus. And it does say admin on it. I doubt I'll get it to focus on that. This one is like a tentacle with a charm on it. So we'll see how this goes. See if I can get these on quite as easily. The other one, put her admin bracelet on this side. And we'll put her purse in here. And we'll put her purse on her arm. And we'll bend her arm. Yes, I'm in a very positive mood because of how my vehicle turned out, so I'm very much in a yappy mood. Turn me on mute if you don't want to hear me. And I understand that. It's okay. I won't blame you. Honestly, I won't even know. Struggling. Get her thumb in there. We'll put her. How would you hold that? I would think that actually would put your that's a little more realistic. Oh, I didn't show you her cup. It's got a bendy straw, and it looks kind of more like an icy, like a snow cone type. It's like dripping out the side. Is this the slime? Maybe. We don't know. Try and put her lashes on. Find her ears behind all this hair. Think they'd be easy since they're like fin shaped. Maybe that's why the glasses are so oddly shaped. I don't know. Don't know if I like her glasses. She probably won't stay wearing her glasses, but for the sake of showing everything she has, ooh, just about lost our cheeseburger. Oh, goodness. Like, hurry up, right? We want to see the doll. Trying. She's very loosely holding that piece on. See your sunglasses? I don't know if I like sunglasses. They're probably not gonna stay on her. But there we go. Here she is, set up with all of her accessories, and she is not going to stand on her own. There is no support in these shoes whatsoever. And then this is her unfocused, there went, picture. I kind of said Lagoona's kind of my favorite. So we got another one of her. I don't really know what this one, like the line of them are. Like that one was Monster Fest. This The Walmart website said Monster High Doll Lagoona Blue with pet. So, and then the back. That. It's got Frankie, Cleo, another Clawdeen, and then Draculaura. And yeah, got a little cutout up front. It's a box. I guess on the back it says Lagoona Blue, monster type, beautifully bubbly sea monster, monster must have, sparkling saltwater, plus fish ice scream. It's two separate words, that's why it tripped me up. And her monster pet's name is Neptuna. Little fishy. Okay, and we're just gonna open her up, and I have to come up with another story, which I realized I didn't have one ready. I told you all my stories, all of them. It's the only things I've done in my life. I don't know. What people want to know about me? Not really do much. I work as an accountant. I don't know. My mom told me today she was going to become a manager of a cemetery. And I asked her what that job position entailed, and she said she got to pick the layout of the cemetery, meaning that when it was time to inter someone, she helped them pick a spot. I don't really know how that works. She said, I don't know my north, south, east, west, though, so I might have to learn how to do that before they let me have the job. I was like, just get a compass. Oh, whoops. These are tea ties, not strings. It looks like strings the way the cardboard is. Sorry. Trying to cut stuff that didn't exist. I don't know. I have to think on this. I know how to. I guess we teach you about four-wheel drive. Do you want to know about four-wheel drive? Probably not. I don't want up here. These dolls, like when I was a kid, were not really it yet. Like I grew up on Barbie, and I did have some Bratz dolls. I think as I was kind of starting to get a little older for dolls, is when I got a lot more Bratz than Barbies. Me and my sister would play with them a lot. We did have one of the big Barbie houses, like one of the wood ones that was stickers on the back, like there was no 3D items. We had that for a long time. We played with that a lot. But yeah, I never really had Monster High when I was a kid, ever. Never had one. These are the first ones I've ever had that are play line. I have my shoulder in the way. I have Enid and Wednesday, if I'm out of the way enough, and you can see them. And then the Sanderson sisters are over there. Binks is down there on the floor. You can't see him. But yeah, then I have like the Barbie extra line that I like, the ones of them that I like. And then I think I'm in the way again. Let me switch sides. I think I kind of want to keep this piece of the box, because that's kind of cool. And I'll probably end up cutting it down to a different size, but I think I'm going to keep that. I switched to this side. That's what I have for Rainbow High and Monster Shadow High. I like these dolls a lot. Like a lot. So I'll probably end up with more of them than anything. I just thought these dolls were pretty, and before my pickup broke, I got some gift cards and needed to spend them on something, and I felt I don't want groceries. Boring. So I didn't use them for groceries. I used them for dolls. I don't know like how financially responsible that is, but that's what I did. So these are kind of fun to get into a little bit, but I don't know like the lore about them. From what I'm understanding, these are considered G3 Generation 3. So these must be like the third generation of these dolls in whatever manner that means. Yeah, I don't know. I just got a couple of the ones that I thought were like really cute. I feel like their arm joints are very tight. I don't know. Maybe that's just something I'm not entirely used to. So she, like, I'm just kind of looking at her compared to the other ones, seems very identical to the other one that we had. Like as far as like mold, body mold, it seems to be exactly the same, which I didn't necessarily, like I said, I didn't get to buy these in store, but I really wanted both of these. And I liked the Poison Ivy one, except for I don't like that her hair is yarn. I mean, I looked at them in the store before I purchased any of them. I just didn't get to pick these out myself. I had to let someone else, like, I had to do like an online or like a pickup order for them. So, yeah, I didn't like get to pick them out, which is a bummer, but they're literally like significantly less money to do it that way, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like at all. At all, at all. But do their earrings come out? Oh, they do. Didn't know that. So she comes with whatever this is. It's a little puffer fish on a stick. Maybe like a pen. Would it be food? I don't know. Here's her ice. What did it say? It was her fish ice cream. Part? No. This must be her bubble booze, which would be like the sparkling water stuff. And it is a very generic, like, I can remember having stuff like this as a kid. That was like the food products that you would get for dolls of this size. Just a piece of plastic with a sticker wrapped around it. Then she has her notebook that does not open. It has her name on the front, and then it says, "These water are as still as a pond." Don't really know what that means, but that's what it says. And then she's got gummy bites, which look like worms covered in hot sauce. So, yes, and this is her backpack. It's like a jellyfish on the bottom. It's got a little dead fish keychain, and it does open. It's clear plastic. See if we can get all of this. I should have started with the notebook. That would have made the most sense to get it in the back. Oh, the water tipped over. Isn't really fitting. Well, it's in there. It's not in there the best. It's all packed in her backpack. So then she also has another pair of sunglasses. I do like these compared to her other ones. And then here's Neptuna. Isn't she just so cute? She doesn't really. Oh, yeah, she does it. just put her down wrong. So I kind of showed you her feet. So she has the see-through legs. I really liked this outfit. I don't know if that was... I guess everything I've read online is people are very disappointed in the G3 ones. I don't know. They're new to me. She's not coming across nearly as pink as she is, but I feel like maybe if I bring her up closer. There. Now you can see how pink she is. And I really think all of this happening in the background, see how it's grabbing all that, is kind of affecting. So I'm gonna have to hold her up close. But you got to see her face. She has, I think, we'll compare the two before this is over. Little shrimp earrings, her little buns, and her necklace, her top, the belt, the shorts. These are one piece. And then I liked her pants a lot. I think that's what I really liked about this. And I just, like I said, overall, I really like her color scheme. And yeah, that's why I kind of really like the Lagoona dolls. Okay, let's see if we can get her book bag on. Okay, we're up. We're going up. We're going up. Woohoo! Losing things. I've never worked this hard to put, well, that's a lie. I had to wear like my full winter gear to go to school. I worked this hard to get my backpack on. Okay. I'll just set this over here. It's not really important for her to have all her stuff in her backpack for the sake of the video. I think I showed you her shoes kind of earlier when we looked at her tootsies. So she doesn't stand very good on her own. Her legs honestly seem a little bit, I think it's the way her bottom of her shoes are for them to feel kind of. So I'm gonna try and put the little Gucci in her pants. She's holding it. Not the cutest pose, but she's holding it. Oh, it stayed on the table. Okay, yeah. So here, oh, we forgot her glasses. How could I forget that? Yeah, I don't really like these on her face either. I mean, they're like better than the other ones. But I can't, I don't know, maybe I just kind of like her face. So I find it hard to find like the glasses on her face. But okay, now for just overall, because I'm curious if she like, so obviously the makeup is different. I would say the hair feels pretty the same, but she would be probably like, I think it's pretty the same. I think it's just because her eyes are looking different. Her face maybe looks a little different. Like this one has higher cheeks, but I think it's just because of the way her eyes are facing. But otherwise, I think it's literally like exactly the same doll. Just a little bit different makeup. Like her arms are the same, hands are the same, legs are the same. Things. Which is interesting. They didn't pay attention to that, which is fine. I'm not upset about it because I like them both and I would like them both in their own. Hair is different. It is two different color hairs. But yeah, I'm happy with both of them at least, I guess. And I'm the one that paid for them and has to have them in my house, so I think that counts the most. Our fourth and final doll is Cleo Denial. I love that name. I said earlier was, always will be a big archaeology fan, and the obsession started with ancient Egypt, which I've always considered and pondered over the conflict of opening graves like that, tombs like that, and taking the things out, even in the name of science. So I don't know. I love learning about it, but also it does feel disrespectful in a way. I wish that they would take the things out and then like put them back and reseal them, not put them on display in a museum. Like maybe some of the artifacts would be kind of okay, but like the bodies, do we need to display the bodies? I don't know. That's a whole thing, and we don't need to dig too far into it. This is a doll. It's fun. It's toys. But yeah, I really like is even like as depressing as like the climate change situation is with the melting of the icebergs and everything, and not specifically like in Antarctica. I'm talking about like up here in the mountains and in stuff like that, and getting to see all of the like artifacts that they're pulling out of what used to be ice. That part is so cool. Is it worth the whole climate change? No. But I do really love learning all the stuff they find about, especially like in I don't want to say necessarily my area, but in North America, just in general as a whole. Because like, I don't know, it's just so cool. It's so cool to me. I love archaeology. And I think that would be something I would go into if, I don't know, that would be another thing I would love to do. And I know that in my area, we can find arrowheads from Native Americans and such. You can find stone tools. I've never really hunted for them. I just kind of like watching other people hunt for them. But a huge show that I love is The Curse of Oak Island. I love shows like that. I love shows like that are like, let's dig stuff up and make it last 52 seasons. Even though they're probably not trying to make it last 52 seasons. They love to find the gold. But I love shows like that. I really do. And so when Monster High kind of started becoming a thing, Cleo is the one that I remember the most. The most. I remember seeing her, and that was the only doll that I ever really was like, ooh, I would like to have one of those. I always thought Frankie was pretty cool too, but the ones that they have on at Walmart right now, I didn't really like either of her outfits that much. So I decided, no, we're not gonna. And I'll show you on the back of the box. Did Frankie go to the Monster Fest? I can't even remember. Too far away from that. Oh, it's a tea tie. Okay, the back of this box. So Frankie was in the school one. I just personally don't think her outfit looks nearly as cute as the box art. That's my opinion. Please feel free to buy what you like. Same with Clawdeen. And Draculaura, like, I like her, but I've yet to see, like, of the, like, research that I've done on the different, like, G1, G2, G3 to try and understand what everyone's talking about when they talk about these dolls. I have never really seen one that I'm like, ooh, I want that one. Where, like, I really like the blues in Cleo's hair. I love the whole lunar thing with Clawdeen. I just love, like, just mythical stuff in general. I read Harry Potter, but I devoured Percy Jackson. Harry Potter was like, okay, yeah. But I read, own, and read still at my age all of the main Percy Jacksons, like the lightning thief, sea monsters, and I don't know if I remember them all because I don't pay attention to the tales. I read what's in them. And then like the secondary series, which is like Rome, because the first one is ancient Greece, then it's Rome. Then there's a trilogy about the Egyptian gods, and then there is the Magnus Chase ones, which were Norse mythology. Ugh, it's just a whole thing. I love it all so much. And dragons. Dragons are. I love dragons too. But yeah, so I really like Clawdeen because of that, but I'm very particular about which ones. Like the Monster Fest one, I liked her because she had the moon headband and the headpiece that she was wearing. Lagoona, I just kind of like her color palette. Frankie, I really like, and I like her color palette again, but I didn't like her in the this pet series. And I didn't love her. She did go to the Monster Fest one. And again, she looks rather cute in the box art, but I guess when I looked at them at Walmart, I didn't find her outfit to be that cute because it is like shorts on one side and like kind of like a jogger on the other side. And I get it, she's like a Frankenstein, so she's supposed to look like pieced together. I didn't like that. And also her outfit for school is just denim shorts and like a t-shirt and like a jacket, and just I don't know, it just didn't I didn't like it enough to like decide to buy that one. But in the future I would be down to buy Frankie for sure because I'd like to have at least one doll of Frankie. Just because I think she's a cute character overall. I'm just not going to spend the money on one until I know that I have one that I like really like. I forgot to read Cleo's box back. Do that really quick while I'm thinking about it. Okay, she is monster type, regally radiant mummy, monster must-haves, Eye of Horus, boba, should be like a boba drink, just this, and heart jar. So like, okay, anyway, her pet is Hissed. So I do know, because I watch like documentaries on ancient Egypt, and this might be fair, like to me it seems like fairly common knowledge, but maybe it's not, so I'm going to say it. When they do the mummification process, essentially they wash the body with oils and perfumes, kind of, and then they use salt, and I think there's some other stuff to fully dry out your skin. And at that time, they also remove your internal organs, brain, pretty much everything in the torso. But I don't think they remove your heart because you need to have that. I could be wrong, to be honest. It's been a while since I've really like fell down the ancient Egypt rabbit hole. And like every time I watch stuff, they find new stuff and it changes just a little bit, which is why it's fun for sure. Or I think it's fun. So I don't know. I didn't think that they took the heart out because they saw it as like a very important piece of you. But that could be wrong. Ancient Egypt, I mean, it spans such an extensive period of time of history that even within their culture, burial traditions changed so much. So at one point maybe they did, at one point maybe they didn't. But yeah, they would put your vital organs in jars. Oh, and I forget what it's called. Canopic jars, something like that. It's very close to that. Canopic. Can't remember. And then they would bury you with them. And the point is, when you pass and they do the mummification, and you get to the other world, your body needs to be in the condition you wish to spend the afterlife in. There's a whole bunch other like mythology and lore and tradition and everything that goes into that. That's why they do the mummification, to preserve your body for the afterlife. Like ancient Egyptians pretty much like they thought a lot about the afterlife. A lot of their culture involved preparing for death. I mean, they spent from at least what we would consider in today's age a lot of money on their burials, prepping for their burials, how they wish to be buried, what they wish to be buried with, because whatever they were buried with went with them to the afterlife. So if you took your bed and pillows, you would have your bed and pillows in the afterlife. Like that's kind of how they thought of it. There's something going on with her hair here, sorry. And here's how we're gonna fix it. It was sticking straight out. It had to be done, sorry. Like this chunk of her bang. That's better. Better. It's not quite right yet, but I might just cut the whole chunk out. Oh, I feel better. Do you feel better? I feel better. It wasn't like gelled down like the rest of her hair, so it looked ridiculous. And like some of this like tinsel is kind of coming out. It's like sticking straight out, which I'm not gonna be able to live with. It has to come out. I hate curly hair and like a hairstyle like this. I can handle being a mess. But if this, like there's a piece right here, it needs to come out. I don't like that. Like pieces coming out of the headpiece. So, sorry. Quick restyle. Yeah, I really like her hair. It is still, I think this is softer, but again, it's straight, so it's hard to really like fully judge that. Let's start with her accessories. Yeah, that's your quick, mildly, possibly somewhat incorrect ancient Egypt lore. Here is her Eye of Horus. Is it? I think it's Horus with an H. Coffee, or boba, however you want to say that. Her jar of heart. She comes with a scroll on how to make a period. It's got a period pyramid. It's got the Eye of Horus on it. And not entirely sure what the little thing in the middle is, except for maybe a cobweb. She has a piece of pizza in a pizza box that I feel like if you closed one too many times, it would snap because it is just a plastic hinge. So I'm going to leave it open, but it would close and does have a clip to latch it. And then, like I said, these must be like little pens. Hers has the scarab beetle on it. And yeah, it kind of just looks like a staff a little bit. Don't know for sure if you'll be able to see the scarab beetle. And she has some sunglasses that have Egyptian iconography on it. And then Hisset. Just kind of a cute little snake. Doubt it's a realistic color. I've never heard of a cobra being green, but she comes with, again, I forget the names of these, but there's that charm, and I do know that that is, again, Egyptian iconography, kind of, I believe it's a scarab beetle with wings and it opens, and it's squishy, and she's got some gem danglies on the bottom. So she has got the, ooh, what are they called? I use them to like write names in for earrings. And then a snake and kind of just a generic hair clip. And then you can kind of see her hair color with the tinsel in it. I think it's really pretty, which is kind of what I really liked about this doll specifically was her hair color, the bangs. Her face is very, very pretty as well. Her top has kind of got printed on wrappings. Collar is meant to look wrapping like. She's got, they're sewn wrappings that kind of hang off her hands or arms. This piece that is separate, it does tie around her waist, and a separate skirt with, again, Egyptian iconography. She has the snake wrapped around her leg, and the rubber band is apparently falling. Oh, sorry, I totally didn't look at how I was holding that to the camera. I'm gonna have to put probably a different rubber band on there because it's kind of falling off. And then her shoes. I will say something that I'm always very impressed with Monster High is the shoes. The shoes are always very fun. I am pretty positive it's a canopic jar. I think that's kind of what's on her heel. And then the scarab beetle again. Okay, let's start putting some of her stuff together here. This is obviously not going to fit in her book bag, and I'm not going to try the pizza because I don't want it to break. So, is this even going to fit? No. Well, if you do it that way, it fits. And then her pen. That's basically all that's going to fit in her bag. Do you really want to see me fight to put it on again? Probably not. So we're going to go like this. It's going to mess up her poop sleeves. So we're gonna, I'm going to leave it off. I'm over it. I'm over fighting with it already, and I didn't even try. Where is there? They showed her holding the snake. I'm gonna try to try and get her to hold of the snake. If I can. She's holding it. It's obviously gonna take some work to figure out how to do that. To make it look cute. There she is. Hey, that's kinda cute. And we'll pop these on just for the sake of seeing what she looks like with them on. Okay, see, I don't mind hers as much. There she is. It's Cleo Denial. So, got one, got two, we got three. Oh, it's hardly big enough, and we got four. Monster High dolls now. Regular run, Playline, I guess. Monster High dolls. Thank you so much for sitting here and listening to me talk about all sorts of things today. Please come back. I hope I didn't scare you away. And check out some of my other videos. I got some other videos on my page. Believe it or not, other videos on my page. There are other on my page videos. There are. Yeah. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good morning. Have a good weekend. Have a good week. Whatever, wherever you're at in life.